Hi guys,
Hello.
welcome to
Let's talk about something. No?
let's talk about sex and
Oh, that's
something.
true. How is it back? I forget.
Why not starting back?
Why
We
do
don't
you
cut
like-
on here. So, welcome to let's talk about sex and something. And for this week's episode, I am wearing a hive shirt.
And we have eyes we can see.
And welcome.
And her name is
My name is Youngboss Karen.
Nam Khaleesi.
Yes, what she said. And so let's talk about sex and something is it's a show we came up with, and we wanted to just be let's talk about sex, but we decided to add something. And then what is something? Something
Salt.
is everything. Yes.
It's the dumbest thing I've heard, but okay.
Wisdom. You have to be wise to understand these things. You lack it. You lack wisdom. So for this week's episode, we're going to be talking about sex and religion. Now, this topic is pretty
Dicey.
sensitive. That's the word to use, sensitive. It's quite sensitive because we have different religions, first off, and we have different views on sex in these different religions. She's a Christian, like, based on family interaction.
Family, please.
Based on family interactions,
Oh.
I'm Christian,
Nah.
but
Atheist.
not exactly atheist.
Pagan.
I'm not a pagan either. Yeah, I'm more or less
Antichrist.
non-affiliated to any religion. I believe there is a God. But I'm not. Well, we're not talking about my religious practice. Okay, I have none. So, yeah, what does sex have to do with these different religions? A while ago, when I was doing some research for a blog I wanted to start, I asked a lot of people their views on sex based on their religion. Now, I have a bunch of friends who are Christian, who are atheists, especially, and Muslim. And surprisingly, all their views are all centered under under the Abrahamic system. Now, Abrahamic system has to do with Christianity
I
and
don't really think it's just about the Abrahamic.
mostly, but it's
The
mostly
majority of the religions are under that belief. They all have the same belief.
no,
You
they
think
don't.
there's some?
Yeah,
I
there
think
are
the majority of them all have that belief though.
majority have
Moving on.
certain beliefs, but they're not all the same. They all
Variances.
have they all have rules about sex. Sex is more or less something. To some, it's sacred. To some, it is not. To some, it can be had in based on some conditions. So, for instance, we have Hindu. Is it Indian religions? Hindu, Buddhism, and the likes. So they tend to, I think Buddhists, I hope I'm correct. I really hope I'm correct. I don't want to blaspheme. Okay. So Buddhists believe that sex is sacred, I believe. However, it can be had. But really, okay, the one I'm so certain of is Hindu, where it should only be had when a person has attained a certain household age. That's what they call it, household age. There's a word for it, but I know sex is referred to as kama, which refers to pleasure and which comes from, Kama Sutra. Yes. So sex should be had when you get to a certain household age, and a lot of others have other rules, like Satanism, where there are only 2 rules. Yes, there's a Church of Satan. Yes, they actually have rules against sex in the Church of Satan. Only 2 rules. It shouldn't be had without consent, and it shouldn't be had with a child.
Oh wow.
Yes. That's judge. This is how Christians behave.
I'm not judging anybody. I'm just curious. I don't
See, that is why I read. I read. Okay. I was doing a little bit of research on it actually. That's why I'm really confused. But I had an idea of what Buddhists the idea of what Buddhists have about sex, but I don't want to say what I'm not sure of. I do know certain ones shouldn't be had with there are certain beliefs that are against even thinking about sexual pleasures. There was one I read about different levels of sexual um, activities rather you should not take part in sex based on certain this and certain that. But bottom line is different religions have different views and different laws pertaining to sex. However, we're going to just talk about what we know. We're going to leave all of that.
Do you know?
What do I know? I'm going to think about people's views on sex, especially premarital sex, and how they react to that based on their religion. So it's like, okay, you're a Christian and it says don't have sex until you're married, but then you're having sex and you're not married. So how does that make you feel?
Simple.
How do you feel, Sylvia?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. Well, so I remember a bunch of people talked about when I did my research for my blog. They said, we commit a lot of sins. Everybody commits different sins every day. So, are you going to banish me to hell because I had sex?
I don't think that's the thinking pattern of anyone, though.
That's the question. Like,
I
am
feel
I
like
doomed? Because
it's
of
not
this?
just a sex thing. I feel like most people who actually are Christians and believe in a particular, they have the belief. It's not just a sex thing. I think it's a general sin thing. But then again, it's like they'll always tell you that just because you are Christian, and I'm not trying to preach, please.
Preach.
But just because you are a Christian and you, obviously everyone commits sin, it doesn't mean you should continue in it. It doesn't mean just because
All have sinned and fallen short
Yes.
of the glory of God.
Anyways, it doesn't mean you should continue doing it just because you've done something. Just because you started taking drugs doesn't mean you should continue in that act. It doesn't have to just be general, it's morals, it's more a moral thing.
Then we have the Christians. Do you know what I think is funny is that under the religion Christianity, there are so many people there are so many divisions of the belief. So while we have people who just believe it is a sin that has been committed, that you ask for forgiveness, there are certain people who feel like you need to be atoned because they see that. Did you hear that thing? There was one thing that was trending that our mothers were sending to us as broadcast messages
My
on
mother
WhatsApp.
did not send it to me.
Oh,
please.
okay. Well, my mom didn't send it to me, but I know I saw it on Facebook. They shared it on
Why
Facebook.
our mothers? Why did you say our mothers?
Because it's a mother thing to share these things.
My
on
mom doesn't
WhatsApp.
send me BCs
Mine.
at all.
My mom just sends me good morning BCs. We're in the same house. But basically, they believe that, and I've heard some adults of my age actually say this. They say that, if you have sex with a person, then you're having sex with the demons of all their past sexual relationships. So you have sex with one person, and if that person you're having sex with has had sex with 10 people, then you're having sex with like 10 demons.
Body count's going up.
Body count's going way up.
I don't think that. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I barely hear things from people. I'm barely out there to hear these things. Karina has more.
I listen a lot
I
because
don't-
I'm intrigued. Like,
I zone out a lot, but then I've not heard about that. But hearing about it, I don't think that works like that. I don't think. I've heard about the one where they say that if you have sex with someone, you take all their bad juju or something.
yeah, this one you're taking their own, then all the people.
And
I just
what happens to me taking all the good juju? Something.
Do you get how do
Just
I
saying.
pick the good one? Does it have to do with how you mourn?
Every religion has their own beliefs, but I feel majority of them are just against sex before marriage. I feel most times sex is the selling point. More or
But why you
less.
should get married?
More or
Get
less.
married so you can have sex.
Yeah, so it's like minus it being, I don't know, I'm Christian, so I believe that what my Bible says. But it's like how would I put it? It's maybe it's some kind of cage, because if people feel like they can just have that thing, I don't think why like
There's nothing more to look forward to.
yes.
So it's more like this icing on the cake that people feel they should keep and just look forward to it, you know. So
Yeah.
because of that, they tend to surround it around certain morals, and it goes from just being one thing to involving other things. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So it goes from don't have sex until you're married to you shouldn't do this until you're married. You shouldn't dress this way until you're married. You shouldn't. Yes, you haven't heard those
Just
ones.
until you're married.
Yes.
Because I know that a lot of
Yeah.
times when you get married, doesn't even put cages on you because they're like, you're not
They-
supposed to dress this like this way.
They
as
put the
a married
cages
person.
on you before and after. I don't know how it works, but it's just now this idea of not having sex until marriage has just brings so much. So when a younger person now is seen as selling sex through their what they wear,
Oh.
yes, we've seen as selling sex. So it has affected the society to a point where certain things are not just accepted anymore. They're not just seen as what am I saying? I had a friend. I make a lot of sense. I had a friend a couple of days ago. He asked me when do I think Nigeria will get to a point where we will stop seeing what we wear as
Never.
you know.
Never. I wore shorts and they almost murdered me.
Recently there's a park, like an open amusement park in a particular city, and they said girls shouldn't dress certain ways coming into the park.
They're park their rules.
Do you get it? So you're seen as selling sex. So this just makes you a bad person.
Target.
It makes you not just target a bad person. So you dress a certain way, and we have the previous generation or the even our generation, yeah, you get judgy looks like. "Oh, I can't do that. I can't imagine. How were you raised? What will your
it's
mother say?"
crazy. I feel like that's the only issue I have with Nigeria, because I'm not even the most. I don't dress revealing, but I'm someone who likes wearing short stuff, and anytime I wear short stuff, I always get.
Mm-hmm. So it's also a thing. That's what I'm saying. It goes from the religious thing. So we're talking about sex and
the
religion.
societal thing.
It goes from the religion down to up to the society, where so many things are just cast aside.
Yeah, it's graduating.
Yes. So we're not just talking about only
The
sexual
acts.
activity.
Yeah.
And we're
The
talking
way of
about
life, the way
way
you
of
do
life,
things.
everything. How religion just makes people one track minded, so to say.
Not really.
To a large extent, to me. I strongly believe
don't think
I'm talking
so.
about the general society, the masses. I can't say, and there are lots of woke Christians. They are woke, so to say. They're considered woke, really, that don't dwell on these things so much. But bottom line is, it is there, and it's suffocating to a large extent. And young people try to break out, but we just keep being drawn
It feels
back.
like you're just
But
doing.
yes, that's religion.
Obviously, religion affects a lot of the sexual activities and sexual lives of people. Most religions would want people to wait for marriage, because for me, I feel like that's what I've already said.
Icing on the cake.
Yeah, and it feels more, because if everyone is going around and just having that freedom, in quote, it's going to be a bit, I don't know, uncontrollable. Even though there are still people in these religions that
Even though it's
still-
already uncontrollable, let's just keep that one
They are
there.
trying.
Let it be like we have some certain kind of control,
Yeah.
even though we know it's already uncontrollable.
And due to this, it affects people's sexual life, because after having sex, as Christians, people feel guilty.
Let me tell the story. I have to tell the story. My first kiss. My first kiss. I got home and I prayed. Not you, shut up. I had my first kiss and I ran home and I knelt down beside my bed and I said, Father, Lord, I have sinned. I have kissed a man.
And when you kiss the woman,
I'll be quiet. That didn't count. So, yeah, it's just all about that. And there was the guilt that, went with me. And I'm like, oh, my mom is looking at me. Does she know that I kissed someone today? Oh, no.
you're a dumb child.
I was a very scared child. Like, I was holy. I was holy until I withdrew. I really was a very somewhat holy and moral child.
No, you lost your morals.
I still have my morals.
Confession.
I still have my morals, but the holy side took the back
There
seat.
was something I read online about a girl who, after having sex, the guy was sleeping and she woke up and she was like,
Whispering.
but that's just extreme. I feel like that's deceiving yourself.
What about there's this one that trended where the girl and the guy were about to have sex and then she saw her Bible and she was like, no, we can't do this, let's not do this. And then she chased the guy out and she went back in and she still felt like having sex. So she went back out to look for the guy and the guy was waiting for her. So they went back in and while they were about to have sex, her head hit the headboard and she passed out.
Wow. Insane, I tell you.
Religion 1U0.
No, it's just, I feel like it's a deep thing. It's a really deep thing. It's a deep thing. Not for you, but for people. For people.
It is deep. It is deep, especially when it has to do with body count. When people, the fact that this demon thing, the demon thing we talked about in the beginning, it gets to people. It's because people don't want to increase them. They don't want to seem so experienced in it. I think the worst part is when you seem like you know so much about it. That's when you're seeing. Yeah.
Concerning religion, I don't think that's a different topic actually.
Knowing
But
so much.
yes, about sex.
No. First off, having sex is already bad. When you're not married, it's already bad. Okay. But it's one thing when you're a novice, and it's another thing when you are experienced. You get what I'm saying? So people don't want to seem like they know so much about it, which is why people don't talk about it a lot, because they don't want to seem like they're experienced in this and they have a treasure through knowledge. So you're a lady and you're comfortable talking about sex, you're advising and just being free about it, and they're like,
they're not going to marry you.
yeah, exactly. You're this one don't go.
In the streets.
You're on the streets, you're out there, you are promiscuous, you're a prostitute. Because the moment if you can even give advice, especially like any advice at all, it can be about sexual health, it can be about anything, you're seen as promiscuous. Because why do you know so much?
True.
Exactly. I'm wise. Said this.
So it all falls down from that belief, because society is built on religion. Most of our morals and stuff like that are built on religion. So it passes, I think it goes past the whole idea of sex, and it affects a whole lot of things in the society. It affects the way your children are raised. It affects the way we dress, because you don't want to look
Be
too sexual.
judged.
You don't want to be judged.
You don't want to lead a man
These
to
people
sin.
are told that, I'm not going to say these people because I'm Christian, but these people are told that, oh yeah, if this girl does this, she is leading someone to sin. And dressing a particular way is
seen as leading.
Yeah,
You are an what's the word? Accomplice
accomplice
of sin.
what is wrong with you? But yeah, and I used to be one of the people that would say, I understand that, but I really do not understand it. I dress like a freaking saint and I still lead people to sin every day, so I don't understand it, but
Same here.
But I guess I get what they're talking about in more ways. I feel like when I even dress more revealing, no one even comes around me.
But they're seeing us on the streets. Nobody wants
It's
to be
when I even dress
associated.
like all covered up and I look like a church person. People. That sounds
So the question is, does your religion affect your sexual life? Is there any way you think that?
Do you feel like you'd be having more sex if you were not?
Yeah, if you were not
In
religious.
the bound of religion. Do you feel like you'd be living differently if you're not under that cage? Do you feel like
Does your
life.
religion make you feel caged from your sexual life?
Exploration,
Yeah.
trying new things.
Asking questions.
Because I do know of certain churches I've heard about. I don't know them personally, but where they tell people that even sex styles you're not supposed to.
Yes,
do
missionary
more.
all the way. Praise Jesus.
Please, please. But yeah, so it's crazy. I guess it's just a crazy subject.
Is it? Is it though? Is it
It
really?
depends on your beliefs. I feel like everyone's beliefs should be.
But let us know. There are so many religions out there. I mean, recently I came to read about a number of them, and I can't even remember. Yes, I explore. So let me know your religion, because we're posting this on Hive. Let me know your religion and what,
What you were told.
yeah, about sex, because I'm curious.
And how
I want to
much
know.
you have deferred from it.
If
I
at
would
all
want
you
to hear
have.
about, yeah.
Yes. So, guys, this is the end of our
Ranting.
episode and our ranting and our lack of knowledge, if you notice. Thanks for watching. We hope to see you
Thank
next
you.
week. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.